Hello, good people. It's Sharon again. I've got a lot to say today, and some of it's going to be brief, but to the point, because I could do this for an hour easily, and that's too much. So to keep myself on track, I actually did something I've never done before. I made a list. So I'll be looking at that every once in a while as we go. The other thing that's noteworthy today is the necklace I'm wearing. You notice it has a few things, and okay, that's not noteworthy to anybody unless you know about it. It belonged to a good friend, Erica. Erica has just recently, unexpected, been through a few bad things and has passed away. And a lot of people I know her, and she's gone. And there's nothing I can do about that, but I can remember her with something that she had that I now have. And we have to keep things like that in mind. But aside from remembering Erica, that's not what today is about. Today is about the great orange pumpkin. Yeah, Donald Trump. He made a lot of campaign promises. He said a lot of things. Some were good, some were not. And a lot of people said, well, there's a lot of things he said that he wouldn't really do. He wouldn't? Yes. We're starting off with pardons, which he didn't say a whole lot one way or another. But the folks he's pardoning are phenomenal. The Proud Boys, insurrectionists, people convicted in a court of law of contributing to January 6th destructions and riots and trying to overthrow an election. He's letting them all off the hook, some 1,500 of them. Do we really want people that blatant and obnoxious and dangerous just turned out and let go? That's the first one that gets me. The next one is his border policies and his immigration. He made a huge deal out of closing the borders. And then his co-president, Elon Musk, pointed out that we need a lot of these immigrants. For one, we need some more brain power. Elon thinks Americans are stupid. We elected Donald Trump. Maybe we are. But nonetheless, he wants scientific minds and other people with a lot of expertise coming to this country that under new proposed guidelines, they wouldn't be able to. But yet, they still want to get rid of a whole lot of people, birthright citizens, people who were born in this country, whose parents weren't necessarily legal immigrants. He wants to get rid of all of them. Well, wait a minute. These people were born here. They grew up here. They're part of here. And you just want to throw them away? Isn't that kind of ridiculous? All of us have immigrant parents, unless we're Native American. All of us. Oh my goodness. We can't just throw people away because he doesn't like them. It's already having a big effect in Florida. And tomatoes. There's a lot of immigrants who do jobs that American workers won't do. They do it cheaper. They work hard. And they're picking tomatoes. As well as some other things. And if they don't do that, we're going to run out of a lot of these produce things, and we're going to be starving for a lot of this stuff, figuratively and in some cases literally. And yet, he wants to get rid of all that. These are a huge part of our workforce. Oh, what about the crime? Well, the bottom line is our illegal immigrants have a far fewer percentage of criminal activities than citizens do. Far less. Why is that? Well, maybe they're afraid they'll get caught and shipped out. And this is the way they're making their lives and their families' lives better. They work hard. They're not a problem. They just aren't. As a matter of fact, they're necessary for our economy to function well. Then we go on to some of our drugs. I just had to renew my monthly prescriptions. I got quite a few of them. I've got a lot of health problems. And it turned out to be pretty interesting. My cost, since Trump took office and started signing presidential orders, my drug cost went up 10 times. Let that sink in for a minute. From 1 month to the next, because of a strokes of Donald Trump's pen, my prescriptions and drug cost increased tenfold. And while I was talking to the pharmacy, they said it's pretty common. Doesn't matter what the symptoms or anything else or the needs or what systems or what insurance program. This is what's happening. Mine's typical. Fortunately, I can handle that. A lot of people can't. And it sucks when you have to choose between whether you eat dinner or have your drugs. That's what it's coming down to. He's affecting Medicare and Medicaid. He's trying to eliminate things. He's just recently signed some more bills drastically cutting benefits for Medicaid. People who can't get by, he's just made it much harder on. Cutting their benefits, cutting their access to health care, cutting their access to health and to housing and other necessities of life. What is he trying to do? Destroy all of us? Oh, of course, he's drill baby drill. Going to increase oil production because other things just aren't good. Well, let's see. Oil companies make huge profits. And to do it his way, they're going to make more profits. Rich people will get richer. He wants to ban wind turbines. He says they're bad for the environment. Wind is bad for the environment? He claims it kills hundreds and hundreds of birds. And if you go to where there's wind turbines, you'll find dead birds all around the place. Yeah, there's a few. Nothing like he's claiming. Nowhere near those numbers. Also says that in order to build a wind turbine, it takes the equivalence of 20 years worth of oil to process and build it. Yes, it does take some, but I don't know about 20 years. I haven't seen actual numbers. In fact, I've just heard statements made by the same people who have not been very dependable on statements. And they say after 20 years, they have to be replaced. Their worth is done, so there is a zero environmental gain by building these things. I've never heard that before. I've never heard anybody say that before. I have trouble believing that one. But he's against wind power. Why? Same reason he's against solar power. It cuts the profit of really large companies. Bummer. Now, as we keep going, he's pulled us out along the same lines of the Paris agreements for climate. Just jerked us right out from under that. We're one of the very few countries of the world who are now opposing saving our environment. Right along with pulling us out of the World Health Organization. We don't care about research. He has stopped it. Just today I heard that he has cut funding for a lot of cancer research as well as many other things. Oh, what do we need that stuff for? The heck with that. What if we hit another pandemic? Well, he claimed the last one was false anyway. He also said that if we didn't test so much, we wouldn't find so many people sick. That doesn't mean that people weren't sick. He just wanted smaller numbers for results, so he wanted to cut testing to get smaller numbers. And he flat said that. If we cut it in half, we'll only have half as many. If we cut it by a quarter, we'll only have a quarter as many. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't change anything. It's just lying. Okay? How about diversity and inclusion? He has stopped several federal departments. Flat stopped them. He's put them on hold. They've got less than 30 days until they don't exist anymore. The heck with it. Who cares about civil rights? If you're not a white male, up yours. That's not just LGBT. That's multiple races. That's women. That's a lot of things. He wants to cut all of it. Open up hate and things like that. He certainly wants to cut LGBT and transgender folks. He has already signed presidential orders saying that the U.S. will only recognize two genders. And anybody who's transgender will be denied any kind of help, any kind of medical assistance, have legal right to get medical assistance if they're not asking for any financial helps. Same thing true of psychological treatments. Not for just transgender folks, but for gay and lesbians and many others. He's saying we don't exist. He is ordered to take the references to all of us out of all federal documentation, trying to legislate us out of existence. He doesn't care about equality. He doesn't care about the majority of people in this country. Because different races, different backgrounds, different ethnic, different colors, different preferences, we make up the majority of people in this country. The white male is only, 25%? And everybody else he doesn't care about. Doesn't care at all. One of his first actions, and he has said this, he's not worried about cutting the price of groceries and eggs and things, although just before he took office, he admitted, well, he's been saying for months that he's going to bring down the prices of all these things. Now he admits that he can't. He says bringing those prices down is a very, very difficult thing to do. He'll see what he can do. He didn't have anything to do with it. Neither did government. Price of eggs went up because of bird flu contaminating a whole lot of the flocks, ruining the eggs, ruining the chickens. That's why the prices went up. There's a shortage. And I don't care how much legislation you have, you can't fix bird flu killing the populations of chickens and destroying eggs. You can't. He could never fix that, and he knew it. But people voted for him because they pay too much for groceries. And now he's admitted that he can't do anything about that, despite the fact that he lied to us for years and said this is what he's going to do. A lot of us knew better. Apparently, many people didn't, because they voted for him on that basis. Okay. He says his first thing is to retaliate against what Biden has done. Retaliate. He's after anybody he thinks are political enemies and are out to harm him. He wants to hurt them. He also wants to roll back civil rights for many, many, many people, included in these other things. This is all Project 25. It's textbook. If you go look at Project 2025, you'll find all these things are there. Every one of them. He's following it like a manifesto. Why not? He supports Hitler and has said so. He's an admirer. Folks, I don't know where this is going. I don't know how bad it's going to get before it gets better. All I can do is pray that people come to their senses, our Senate, our House. Everybody fights against this man who is set out to destroy everybody in this country except the rich and the elite. He wants to profit himself, and he wants to rule. I wish I could say it differently. Until next time, just my opinion. Take care.